Welcome to the Missouri Baptist Basketball Coaches Show. I'm Harry Schrader. This is head men's basketball coach Matt Brock. And Matt, we barely know each other. So excited to have Matt on campus and be a part of Spartan basketball and Spartan athletics. And I want to ask you, it's your first head coaching job at the college level. You've been highly successful as an assistant coach. What was the first thing? What drew you to Missouri Baptist?
Well, competing against the Spartans in the AMC conference, had a good familiarity with the school, their approach, and from Dr. Lacey down to Dr. Smith, it's a first-class approach and a school that wants to be good, and that was attractive to me. And obviously, a great location, still close enough to some family, but a great place to live for my family, and just a great opportunity.
Close to home, he was a Camdenton Laker back in the day and played at Truman. And a Midwest kind of a guy. All that assistant coaching, all that playing, I know it's early, but what's it like moving that one chair over?
Well, they always say the longest 18 inches is that movement from that first chair to the second.
One chair closer to the timer's table, you're right.
And, as an assistant coach, you kind of think, well, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm doing all the work. And then you get there, and it definitely is a long trip. My head's been spinning ever since April 1 when we got here, and fortunately my assistant coaches Jared Goodwin and Patrick Soderman have done a great job of helping out, did a great job of bringing in a good recruiting class, and we've got a good group of guys to work with, and we're learning every day, whether on the court or off the court. I'm definitely learning the most, I think. So it is a long trip from seat 2 to seat 1.
So let's talk a little bit about your style. So Spartan basketball is going to look like what? It may not look that way perfectly this year. I mean, everybody is putting their own stamp on a program. But at the end of the day, what's Matt Brock's style of basketball?
Well, I'm huge on defense. That's one thing we're really emphasizing right now. We're not at the level we want to be right now defensively. We're trying to adjust to the new rules. There's a lot they're tightening things up.
Show the hands.
The perimeter. Yeah.
Show the hands.
Show the hands.
I've heard 1,000 coaches tell me that.
Yeah, we call it Bluetooth, hands-free. So we're really trying to focus on the defensive end. We've got a talented group of offensive players. I don't think we're gonna have trouble scoring the basketball, but getting stops and being a defensive-minded team. Because when you look at any level of sports, the teams that are there at the end usually have really strong defenses that can carry them through an off night offensively. So we want to be defensive minded. We want to play at a fast pace. I'm definitely in favor of the new shorter shot clock. I would kind of wanted them to go to 24, to be honest. I wouldn't mind the
but you were a guard.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I wouldn't mind if the FIBA rule book became our rule book. A lot
of coaches feel that way, honestly.
So I want to play. We want to play fast. Guys like to play fast, and I think transition, whether you're transitioning to defense or transitioning to offense, that's a huge opportunity for the offense to score. So you got to do a great job in defensive transition, and then you got to keep the pressure on offensively, because early that first 10 seconds of the shot clock, scoring efficiency is really high.
You talked about your assistant coaches, and I want to talk about Pat Soderman for a minute. How important is it for you guys to get good local talent, St. Louis folks, and of course he's got tons of St. Louis ties?
Absolutely. Bill Soderman, his dad, legendary coach at Parkway West. I've known Pat since he was 9 or 10 years old. His older brother Chip and I were teammates and captains at Truman together. So, he's done absolutely a great job. And, of course, that name carries some weight in the area. He was involved with the Gateway program, one of the top AAU programs in the city. So we're really focused on recruiting locally, and have already been trying to get involved with a lot of guys in the 2016 and 2017 classes. But there's such a wealth of talent, basketball talent in St. Louis. We can't help but recruit this area and recruit it hard.
When you look at your team, you're trying to gel a handful of guys from last year, but a whole bunch of new folks. Just talk about that process of blending the old and the new and a new staff all at the same time.
Well, your first practice, most of the time you have some veterans, some juniors and seniors that have been around and at least know where to line up for the drills. Well, we had a few returners, but none of them knew what I wanted, and none of the new guys definitely didn't know, and my assistants were a little unsure. So our first week of practice wasn't quite the tempo we wanted to, but we eventually have kind of gotten a rhythm, and the guys have been practicing really well. I think we're on practice 39 tonight. and they've been consistent with their effort, and that's all we can ask. But definitely we have a mix of across all 4 classes, and that's a good thing, I think. But hopefully, as we move on into year 2, year 3, we get a little more continuity, and so those older guys can kind of put their arm around the younger guys and put them in their place.
You've got some games this weekend, and so you won't be at home for still just a little while. But who are some of the names, some of the guys that are emerging that some of the Spartan basketball fans, oh, that guy's going to be a leader, that guy's going to be a scoring leader? Who are some of your players?
Stephen Buckner, our point guard, did a great job so far. He's playing very efficient basketball on the offensive end. I think he's had 26 points against Drury the other night. Really played well. Will Harrington is a guard that's been really consistent in practice. He can do a lot of different things. He can really pass the ball. He can move over to the point guard spot. He's 6'3", 210. So he started out his college career as a football player. So he's got that physicality to him. He can rebound and score the ball as well. And then Chris Buzzle is a returner from last year. Kind of coming off a couple injuries. He's slowly working himself back into midseason form. And John Caraballo, from a transfer from Drury, really had some strong performances last week. He's 6'6", plays super hard, a lot of energy, just brings a high level of effort to the court, and that's just, you can't help as a teammate for it to rub off on you.
So talk about, you've got a couple games this weekend, just talk about what's in front of you guys in the immediate future.
Well, we're going to Huntington, Indiana. They're out of the Crossroads League, a very good basketball league up there. We play Bryan, Tennessee on Friday night in the semifinal. If we win or lose, we play the winner or loser of Huntington, the host team, and Moody Bible. So Bryan's got a guy that just scored his 2,000th point. He's an undersized post player that can score it a lot of different ways. We're going to have our hands full with him. They like to play really fast, so transition defense is going to be very important. And then if we're lucky enough to get past them, Huntington's got a really strong team. They've played probably the toughest schedule in the country. They lost to had the lead at half, but lost to number 1 Cornerstone in NAIA Division II, and just lost by 1 to number 5 Olivet Nazarene last night. So we've got our hands full this weekend. It'll be good to get our team away and get that back-to-back experience, because eventually, you hope your program gets to Kansas City in the Municipal Auditorium, where you got to win 5 games in 6 or 7 days. So that's something. Tournament basketball is a great preparation tool for conference tournament and hopefully national tournament.
The Brock era has begun here at Missouri Baptist University. That's the head coach, Matt Brock. Stay tuned. We've got a ton of things coming your way, an exciting basketball season in front of us. I'm Harry Schrader. Thanks for watching on the Spartan Digital Network.